President Trump calling off the planned June 12th summit with North Korea. The president saying this missed opportunity is, quote, a truly sad moment in history. There are reports that South Korea was kind of taken off guard by the announcement. Here now, live from Seoul, is our own Greg Palcott. Greg, how are they reacting over there?
Hey, Dave. It is early Friday morning here in Seoul, but yeah, the South Korean government has been burning the midnight oil, and yeah, they have been taken a bit aback by what President Trump had to say about that planned and now unplanned summit with Kim Jong-un. South Korean President Moon Jae-in urging direct talks again between the president and Kim Jong-un, saying, and this is a quote, denuclearization cannot be delayed and abandoned. He seemed a bit blindsided. He was, quote, perplexed by the message from the White House, calling it regrettable. Now, President Trump said he had spoken with South Korea and Japan about possible new military preparedness in the region for any antics coming from Pyongyang. You got to believe, David, that that's the last thing the South Korean government wanted to hear. They have been working tirelessly in the last couple of months to come up with a diplomatic solution to this crisis. Remember, it was President Moon and Kim Jong-un who met in their own summit on the DMZ just last month. The White House summit cancellation seemed to stem from some tough words coming from Pyongyang, a statement about a nuclear showdown if a meeting couldn't happen. So far, at least, we have not yet heard from Pyongyang with a reaction to the latest message from President Trump. One more note, this was supposed to be, Thursday, it was supposed to be the banner headline day for another event, the dismantlement in the northeastern corner of North Korea of their nuclear test site. The government brought a hand-picked bunch of foreign reporters there. They observed explosions in tunnels and portals. They said it was quite impressive. We're still waiting on some pictures coming down. They're taking a train down there from that site. But remember that the North Korean government did not include any international experts, analysts, observers. This was seen as pretty much of a PR measure before that summit from the North Korean government. There might be a little bit buyer's remorse right now, David.
I'll say. Greg Palcott burning the midnight oil himself there along with the South Korean government. Thank you very much, Greg. Appreciate it. Melissa.
Here now is Peter Brookes. He is a senior fellow for national security affairs at the Heritage Foundation, and Harry Kazianis from the Center for National Interest. Harry, we wanted to have you back on today, and I wish we had the sound, but you predicted on our show that you said that this meeting was going to fall apart by 3 p.m. on Friday. So I was pretty floored this morning when your timing was pretty darn good Thursday morning. What did you know that they didn't show up last week for this meeting that they were supposed to have in Singapore between North Korea and the U.S. in order to talk about some of the details, or you just felt that way from the tone?
Honestly, I'd felt that way since last week, Melissa. I mean, if you just forget all the statements about, North Korea making veiled nuclear threats last night or them upset about the Libya model, forget all the talk. The fundamentals are very clear here. The North Koreans did not have any intention to denuclearize or put that on the table. The Trump administration was very clear what they wanted from the beginning. Some sort of pledge to denuclearize and probably having some sort of inspectors on the ground to make sure that happened. It's just very clear, Melissa. Both sides were just too far apart, and you can't have a summit if they can't even agree on what the terms are going to be, what the agenda is. So that's what killed this. It's very clear.
Yeah. Peter, do you agree with that?
Yeah, the conditions weren't right. A number of things that Harry mentioned, the technical things about how North Korea defines denuclearization. They really wanted it not to be unilateral. It was going to be multilateral. It was going to be global arms control. They wanted to say that the Korean Peninsula had to be nuclear free, which meant that U.S. would probably have to disarm its intercontinental ballistic missiles for use on the Korean Peninsula or against other foes. So it just had a lot of problems in it. And the change towards this harsh rhetoric coming out of Pyongyang was as quick as they moved towards the charm offensive. So I don't think diplomacy is dead yet. This meeting won't take place. We'll have to see what happens. And I think the ball right now is in North Korea's court, and it's daybreak's coming on the Korean Peninsula, and we'll have to see what tomorrow brings.
Harry, do you think that it's over? Because I think that this was a test to see if, would President Trump really pull the plug on the whole thing, given that he was going to get so criticized? He's about the outcome, I think, rather than how it looks. There are other administrations, if you look at the Iran deal, who would have continued and rushed ahead with the meeting and given in just to save face. And he's saying, no, I'm serious about what I actually want. the North Koreans seem like they're tempted. I mean, they need the money. They want to. They look like they want to be welcomed back into the rest of the world. Do you really think that this is over, or this is a pause?
Well, I think the next 24 hours are key here, Melissa, because if the North Koreans don't put out any more crazy statements, they try to do some quiet diplomacy, they might be able to get the Trump administration back to the table. But if we wake up tomorrow morning to more, bombastic nuclear rhetoric, I think there's a very possibility that the North Koreans then start testing missiles and we're back to the brink of war again. I don't want that to happen, but it is possible.
Now, gentlemen, I don't know if either of you wants to make a prediction, because David and I instantly this morning, the moment the meeting was canceled, we both said you got to get Harry Kazianis back because he predicted it on our show with an exact time. What do you think? Does anybody want to make any predictions about, will there be a meeting? Do you think it'll happen by June 12th? Do you think we'll have one this year, or do you think we'll never hear about this again? Peter, what do you think?
I don't think there'll be a meeting on June 12th. I think there's a possibility after that, but North Korea is going to have to come around. I think our side was ready to meet. There is a possibility, but I think the administration is doing the right thing by digging its heels in on these conditions.
Harry, real quick, prediction.
No meeting. I say the North Koreans start testing missiles within 30 days.
Well, all right. All right, gentlemen, thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to say